The automotive industry is set for a revolution that will disrupt and reshape global business, threatening the survival of every organization. To make sure you survive and win in the new automotive game, Automotive Growth Expert Roberto Dal Corso has interviewed global experts from the automotive industry to identify the changes and the impacts that are coming to keep you ahead of the curve.
Good morning and welcome to the leading disruptive automotive trends from around the world. This morning we have a very special guest, Howard Levin, the commercial director from Rami Yafi, all the way in Israel. And Howard, I can just say welcome and thank you so much for taking the time out to join us this morning. Welcome.
My pleasure, and welcome to you and all of the group.
Now, Howard, we've met a number of years ago in the automotive industry, and I've always looked at you and your career over the industry as an amazing journey, and you've got a lot of experience, many years in the industry, in your territory in Israel. Could you give us a brief overview of what you've done and how you've gotten there?
I've been in the automotive industry since 1979.
Wow.
I was the spare parts director at a company for 20 years, and I left that company, and right now I'm the commercial manager at Rami Yafi, in charge of all regarding suppliers, import, technical problems, etc. Keeping myself very busy.
No, it certainly sounds like it. And Howard, what would you say has been your driving success over all these years in the automotive industry since 1979, as you mentioned?
I love what I do.
Okay, you love what you do.
I love what I do, and I feel that although I have a master's degree in marketing, if you don't have it in you, it doesn't mean anything.
So you've got a passion for the industry, shall I say?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Well, it's true. How did you get into it? Because no one kind of grows up and goes, I want to be in the automotive industry. You kind of fall in by accident.
It's actually, yes. I saw an ad in the paper looking for the spare parts director of a company, and I just gave him an application, not knowing the automotive business at all, and was interviewed and accepted. And then when I joined the company, I didn't give anybody any orders for about 6 months. I learned everybody's job. So when I said, I want you to do this, they couldn't tell me you can't do it, because I said, if you can't do it, I'll show you how. And I've been in it ever since.
So it's really your passion and driving from the front. Yeah. And I mean, over all these years, you must have seen some amazing changes within the industry. And you look at the parts business now, what are some of the major changes that you see, and where do you see the automotive industry going?
First of all, with some of the major changes are, at one time, when you were an exclusive distributor, you were exclusive. Mm-hmm. And although you might be an exclusive distributor today, people with the internet going, people can get your products all over the world, and there's no real exclusivity. Hmm. Another thing here in Israel I found is the very quick change in the market. In the vehicle park. If we look at the truck business, you talk Euro 5 and Euro 6. Euro 4 is dying. Euro 1, 2, and 3 are dead. Mm. It's a very moving market, very pushing market. People are going out for the new product. The environmental laws are demanding it. So you have to be really up on it. Even in the car business, you'll see a lot more new cars or newer cars. In fact, the government in Israel has a plan where if your car is 20 years old, you can give it in for junk, an actual junk, because they will then you press the car down.
Yeah.
And you'll get a couple of thousand shekels for that piece of junk. They want the old cars off the road.
Mm.
So the environment plays in it. Status is playing in it. People want new product.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what you briefly said there, I mean, you kind of touched on what I envisaged three of the main mega trends within the aftermarket. I mean, you mentioned the exclusivity, so you've got, whether you are or not, you've got whether it's the manufacturers or the OEs coming more aggressively into the marketplace.
Well, the OEs come very, very much into the aftermarket business. They have found in the last 8 years, maybe or more or less, that the aftermarket is a very good market. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to take it over. One of the things they're doing here is full service leasing.
Oh, yeah.
So they keep the vehicles in their own garages.
Mm.
Now, it does not mean that they're using OE parts, because they're not. But if they know what they're doing, they're trying to take over the aftermarket and it's big.
Yeah. And I mean, what do you see as some of the things that the distributors are trying to do to react against that move?
First of all, we're trying to keep updated as much as we can. Number two, it's cutting into price. The name of the game has become price.
Okay.
You've been cutting into margins for a very long time. You have no choice because the OE are cutting into margins. Mm. They are willing to do almost anything to keep the business with them.
Wow. Wow. So yes.
What here is very, very tough, very strong competition, and you've got to take care of it. And that's on the one side. On the other side, you have all of these people who think, oh, body parts are a good thing. I'm going to get into it too. And you're suddenly getting a number of importers, a lot of it coming today from China, which is pure, unadulterated garbage, but it's cheap. And the market is changing where quality has become not the top point. The number one is price.
Okay. So very price sensitive market. I mean, so you've got the OEs coming in or the manufacturers coming in. So, and then that's on the one end. The other side in the marketplace, you've also got a consolidation within the distribution, whether it's in the fleets or in the distributors. These guys are also joining up, merging, and becoming bigger and stronger.
Correct.
And
a lot of these buying companies like Tema, etc., who work with people here in Israel. And you might be you might have an exclusivity, get it through Tema or through whoever they want, because they've got deals.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, another third point is also the big one you touched on again is digitalization, and whether it's digitalization of, access to information, and anyone has access to an internet can suddenly, get into the parts business, as you say. But then you've also got the one that touches in with the pricing side, because you've now got visibility of pricing across board.
That's right.
So, I mean, in essence, it really is the beginning or the start of a perfect storm in the automotive industry.
That's what's happening.
How prepared are you to navigate the disruptive trends that are set to hit your business? Will you survive and win in the coming years? To understand your level of risk exposure and to help you avoid becoming a statistic of failure, take the free risk assessment here, www.dalcorsogroup.com, which will identify the gaps and how to navigate the risks. By taking the risk assessment, you get a chance to win a free 30-minute strategy session with Automotive Growth Expert Roberto Dal Corso. Roberto can help you identify an amount equivalent to 7% of your total annual sales that you are leaving on the table each year. To survive and win, take action now and visit www.dalcorsogroup.com.
And what are some of the ways that we can navigate these in your area in Israel?
What we're doing is we are not going into the cheap product. Our company is known for high quality, and yes, we've lost some sales, but we believe that I can sell any product in the world 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
First time, last time, and 1 time too many. And I'm not into losing customers, because if we sell him a part for his engine and it fails after a short period, and he's got to do it again, and then again, we lost the customer. We didn't do anything. So we're sticking with the high quality, and we're known for high quality, and we're not going into the crappy products.
Yeah. And I mean, what are some of the biggest daily business challenges you're facing then?
The biggest challenge is still price.
Price.
And fighting OE, and the fact that the internet is open to the world.
Mm-hmm. So it's really that combination of items that makes the mix.
It does. It's a tough business today.
It is. I mean, it's certainly not an easy one to get into. And I mean, as all these changes are happening, are companies also adapting their leadership or management styles in line with it? Or is it still very much go out and do it and we'll see what happens, and we may be lacking behind in the way management handle these changes coming?
Oh, look, in our company we have a website where you can go in and you can buy online.
Mm-hmm.
But what we found is the customers want to see your face.
Mm.
They're not crazy about the internet. They're ordering via internet. You come there, you drive them crazy 3 times a week, they'll buy something from you. If you're not showing up, you don't get anything.
Okay. So it's still very much a people service driven thing.
In the truck business, which is our specialty, truck, bus, and off-road, it's really face-to-face, because you're working with garages.
Mm.
Or fleets who have their own garage. And as a result, you got to be there, because your competitors are going there anyway.
Mm. That is very true.
No matter how much you are on the internet, etc., it's still face-to-face.
Still face-to-face. And do you see your customer base changing, even though it's still, the end user, the fleets, the bus, the workshops, etc.? Do you see it changing as potentially the people you talking to are becoming younger, of the newer generation?
No.
So you don't see that effect yet?
But they're the newer generation, still face-to-face.
Okay. Well, which is good, because some of our other speakers have commented on, as their customers change, and their customers are really much of the age that they grew up on cell phones and everything, and access to everything, they kind of don't even want to see you at times. So that's good to hear that in Israel anyway, that hasn't quite caught on yet.
I mean, you can talk on the phone all day, but you've got to show up.
Yeah. That is true. And I mean, your plans in business, is it to expand, or is it just to maintain what you have by servicing at a higher level?
Well, we're trying to expand. with newer products. But first of all, it's keeping what we've got. Which isn't easy today. But we're also looking over the new product. But we don't go for many at one time. I say, look before you leap, and then take the elevator. If you jump too high, you fall on your face. So I think we have to take one product group, let's say, catalytic converters.
Yeah.
Get them in, and then go for something else. You cannot do too much at one time, because your customers don't remember it, you don't remember it, and you don't know what you're talking about.
So you very much focus on the power of one.
Each time, but continuously growing.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And I mean, Howard, you've been, in the industry since '79, as you mentioned. And if someone was wanting to enter your market in Israel, what would be some of the words of advice that you would give them that are the absolute keys that they need to do to be successful?
In what sense? In other words, to want to supply into Israel?
Yeah. Other than come and see you.
First of all, I have found, no matter how much you do video and all of that, if you never get that face-to-face contact, personal contact, is extremely important.
Yeah.
But it's not only that. You have to look for not one of the very big companies, in my opinion, because they're taking so much different product, they don't do it right. They're out just to, get price, or maybe a quick sale and get rid and drop it, You have to look for companies that want to grow, are looking to grow, and have the technical knowledge. For example, we have all of the technical books of all of the vehicles in Israel. In other words, if you give me an original part number or a chassis number, I'll find your part.
So you certainly have got the technical capabilities, and that's one way to differentiate. Yeah. You can't do... Yeah.
You need technical knowledge, which is some of the things that we have.
Yeah, and especially when you're dealing on more technical products. I mean, I guess you could probably get away at some level if you were dealing on commodity products, whether it's a set of linings or brake pads. But when you get into more technical products,
even that, you've got to know. To give you an example, a guy would call me up and he'd say, "Well, I need a turbo for this vehicle." I said, "That sounds wonderful. What's the part number?" I don't know. I said, well, without the part number, I can give you 6 different turbos, because all these turbos fit that vehicle. They're just different engines, different specs. So I have to know the part number. You've got to give technical information. If you don't give it to me, you're not going to get a correct answer. And I won't answer you. First you give me the part number, or give me your chassis number. You give me your chassis number, I'll find your part. But we have to know the information.
Yeah.
And another thing that we do, we ask, what happened? Why did your part fail? Or why do you think you need this part? Because we have found in the past that often the person thinks he wants part A, when you're talking to him, he really needs part B. And you've got to give it to him, because if you give him part A and he doesn't need it, you're going to get it back.
That is very true. And I mean, that sort of understanding, can only come over time, because I don't believe all distributors are doing such work and asking such questions.
Well, because we feel it's basic.
Yeah, basic for you, but I think in today's world, as you mentioned, to some of the bigger distributors that don't do a good job and are in it for the one-time sale, might not go to that level of questioning.
That's right.
Yeah, so no, I think that's certainly one of the value added that you guys bring.
That's the way we work.
Yeah. And now, Howard, I know you are pushed for time, and I know you're in Israel. A couple of last questions. I mean, what are your passions outside of the automotive industry?
Well, first of all, I've been a volunteer policeman for 18 years, and I'm now being retired due to age. Not my age, their decision, not mine. But I've been a volunteer cop for 18 years.
Okay. And in those 18 years, I mean, what's the most exciting thing you've seen, if I'm allowed to ask?
Well, I've seen victims of murder. I've been through robberies, vehicle transportation problems. It's all varied. You know, in order to become a volunteer cop, you actually have to go through courses. You just don't put on a uniform.
Yeah.
We put uniforms, in travel cards, the whole thing.
Wow, I did not know that about you. And I mean, how does that work? Do they just call you up as they need, or is there a couple of weeks a year?
Well, I used to go every week, Wednesday nights, from 9:30 at night until 1, 2 in the morning, and then go to work Thursday.
I am impressed. I mean, really did not know that about you, and that's amazing. How did you get involved in that?
I see the number of crazy drivers in this country, like every place else, and I said it's got to come down. So I decided to join, and I've been doing traffic and burglaries, you name it.
Yeah.
And when you put on the uniform, you're not only this to the normal civilian. You're a cop. No matter what you volunteer, not volunteer. You see uniform, you're cops.
Yeah. No, that's interesting, and even your passion for the automotive industry helped you want to improve and change society at a bigger scale. Now, that's really great to hear, though. And Howard, one last question for you, sir. What would your final piece of advice be to anyone out there hearing that's listening to this and saying, well, okay, automotive, parts, general, what is the key takeaway in order to be more successful?
You have to see, first of all, I think you have to go for quality. People who are selling junk, you can get all over the world, they're only fighting on price. I said that for 10 you're selling it for 9, they have to sell it for 8, nobody's going to end up making any money. I think you have to sell quality, but you have to understand you've got to be in the ballpark regarding price. If you can't do that, and you have to know, first of all, I think you have to know your product. I mean, you have to know the product, what you want to sell, and you have to be able to give it on time.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with companies that I don't really like working with, because certain companies, you order it, oh yeah, well, delivery is 8, 10, 12 weeks away. I don't need it in 12 weeks. I need it next week. I need it in 2 weeks. I'm sending you an order, and you can't give me delivery 6 months later.
No. So price, very important. Delivery and quality, all key. Yeah. No. Those are good words. No, Howard, I can only say absolutely thank you for making yourself available. Thank you for your time.
Join.
And thank you for sharing your amazing knowledge.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope that you have enjoyed and found value in watching this interview. If you want to learn more about the leading disruptive automotive trends impacting the industry, check out www.dalcorsogroup.com. I encourage you to share it with colleagues that will appreciate great industry insights. Join us tomorrow for more experts from around the world.